Thank you very much, and welcome to our council meeting of August 12th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Be it resolved that this regular meeting now open at 6 p.m. moved by Deputy Mayor Densham, seconded by Councillor Shane.
All in favor? Motion is carried. Is there any opening remarks from members of council? Seeing none, moving on to item 3 with the adoption of the agenda with either amendments or additions.
Be it resolved that the agenda be approved as presented, moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Deputy Mayor Densham.
Any questions or comments on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
I'm declaring an indirect conflict on 9.4 tree removal and planting in Monkland, as well as the declaration in 12.1 as the Raisin Region Conservation Authority is my employer.
Thank you. Thank you. Got that filed. Moving on, there's no public meetings or delegations, so item 7.1 in regards to adoption of our minutes of previous meetings. Mr. CEO.
Be it resolved that the following minutes be approved as presented. Regular meeting, July 22nd, minutes. Moved by Deputy Mayor Densham, seconded by Councillor Shane.
Any questions regarding minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Moving on to the adoption of minutes of committees and local boards.
Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of North Stormont accept the following committee minutes as presented for information purposes. Township of North Stormont Committee of Adjustment minutes of April 23rd, 2025. Township of North Stormont Committee of Adjustment minutes of May 29th, 2025. Through the chair, these are a follow-up from the last council meeting with the two minor amendments. One, that there was a discrepancy with Randy Douglas, and there was a spelling discrepancy with one of the committee members.
Thank you. And
Okay, moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Deputy Mayor Densham.
thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Moving on to receiving of monthly staff reports and recommendations.
Be it resolved that the following monthly reports be received: bylaw enforcement, building, fire, recreation and facilities, public works, CAO. Moved by Councillor Bajelli, seconded by Councillor Shane.
Thank you. I'll take questions in regards to our report. Councillor McDonald.
Just with the conditions being so dry, wanted to check in again on water usage. I know the water bylaw was posted for folks. I was just wondering if the CAO or Public Works would have comments on how close we are to the next stage and what the next stage is, just so we understand.
Through the chair, actually, approximately 10 minutes ago before council, the Public Works Superintendent did approach the CAO to suggest we put on a water ban, at least for the short term. Our Aqua partners are suggesting that as well. Blake, did you want to comment? We were going to meet tomorrow morning with senior management to craft some wording with Todd Leahu from SDG Counties and to publish and try and educate our constituents to support this. There is a considerable demand on our water, especially in our village settlement areas, obviously. So we feel it prudent that we need to move this forward.
So tomorrow there'll be more information will be gathered, so I'll be zooming in, and through Todd, our website, Facebook, we will be detailing more information to come. So, is that fair to say, Blake? Yes. Perfect. Does that answer your question?
One quick question. I know on the low water committees, not to put our representative at South Nation on the spot, but I believe they form a committee of experts that come together. Is SDNG has representation, or
Yeah.
I probably should know this, but I
Yeah,
don't.
if it's okay with you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I've been keeping in touch with what's going on there, and the challenge is SNC covers such a broad area, and each community almost has its own level of the water deficit that they're feeling right now. So they've currently been put out a level 2, I believe, right now, which is reduced risk, but I think the message needs to be a little bit stronger personally, and especially for some of our communities, which is please don't use water unless necessary. Again, I'll leave that up to the committee here on how you want to communicate that, but like I say, I think what South Nation struggles with is the area it covers people who are very close to the river, where the water issue is not as severe, versus those who are also farther away, but still part of the drainage area. So it's a difficult balance for them to make, and I think they kind of average things out, which may not be appropriate for certain areas.
And through the chair, we did incorporate the SNC document just because it's complementary to our efforts internally. So that is part of our messaging right now currently.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Go ahead, Councillor Bajelli.
Actually, a question for the fire chief again, along with the issue with obviously the dry weather we are having. Has there been any issues outside of your reports? Any issues over the last few weeks with respect to any brush fires with the VIA? I know VIA's been doing speed restrictions across their lines right now because of sparking issues. I'm just wondering if there's been anything along our stretch of the VIA track as of yet.
We've had issues in the past. 2 months ago, we've had quite several issues, and in the last couple of weeks, we haven't.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, I think the reports are all well detailed. As we can see, the building, Andre's has been busy. We had some help over the summer holidays with, and I think everything went well. So we're on track to, again, maybe the numbers, I'd love to go over some of those numbers from budget to where we're at, because I think we're getting some pretty decent revenue from this building report, which is good, because the past few years where we're taking away some, and I'd like to try to see if we can balance it out a little better.
Through the chair, actually, the treasurer and I were speaking on that this morning, so I think she can provide
Through
you with
Mr.
that
Mayor,
update.
I actually looked, I take the variance report for all the departments and take a look. And right now, the building permit revenues are at $197,500. It was budgeted at $150, so we haven't finished the year and we're at $197, and expenses are $141. So at this point, there's no need to transfer anything from reserves, even though it was budgeted. So it's looking good.
And at the same time, this does not incorporate the allocation fees that we get for water and sewer. Is outside of that. That's more for the water, which again is just a great revenue to see that coming into to the municipality. So, not seeing any further questions. All in favor of the employees' reports. Motion is carried, or I should say directors. Thank you. Moving on to item 9.2 is a community improvement plan CIP for approval. Mr. CAO.
That the Council of the Township of North Stormont approves Report Administration 14-2025 from the CAO clerk to accept the endorsement of the Community Improvement Plan Committee and approve the CIP disbursement of $1,100 to Countryside Adventures as part of the first intake for the 2025 CIP. Moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Councillor Bajelli.
Thank you. Any questions in regards to CIP? Maybe Craig, we are going to be looking at a second, is that something?
Through the chair, yes, the second intake is already out and is on our website for public digestion, and if they wish, they can certainly apply. The deadline is September 15th, and we will have a third intake after that if there are still funds available.
Okay, so if I can suggest, staff, I think a lot of it people aren't aware, or if we can get word of mouth, it's not a big intake that we are giving out, but it's just to beautify main streets. There's lots of, whether it's signage, on a plan to get engineering report, like there's a little aspect that we can help. So spread the word around for anybody that is looking to improve anything in our communities. So with that said, seeing no further questions, all in favor? Motion is carried. Item 9.3 in regards to automatic aid agreement. Mr. CA.
That the Council of the Township of North Stormont receives and accepts report number Fire 05-2025 from the Fire Chief regarding the proposed hazardous materials contract with GFL for automatic aid services, which will enable the fire service to provide a higher level of response consistent with the increased traffic volumes and associated risk within the township. Moved by Councillor Bajelli, seconded by Councillor Shane.
So I will go to questions. Maybe Nancy, do you want to just give us the overview in general as to how will work out?
Certainly. So should we have an incident in the area, knowing that we do have some companies that, we do have some commercial liability where ASMAT is concerned, we do have some truck volume as well as the train volume. So should there be an incident, we would call upon GFL for their expertise and being a local. This will not stop us from getting contracts or contacting PEOC should we have escalated. The invoicing in some instances might be done by GFL as well, or if PEOC is called in, that would be handled by them as well. The minimal cost to us would be very, very minimal unless there was something that happened on our township roads. And 99.9% of the time, it is a commercial vehicle, and that is billable to them as well. So that's what we're looking at. We do have the services at a lower level at our service, at the fire services, but this is a higher level.
So prior to GFL, I believe, was it Cornwall? Who was supplying the ASMAT?
Correct.
Was Cornwall?
Cornwall, and it was through the SDNG. There was a handling fee or a fee that we had to be on call. This is not the case. There's no fees unless we're used. It's pay-per-use strictly.
Perfect. Any questions? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Densham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's just, I want to commend our fire chief for reaching out and building this relationship, and I think it's a smart way to go. We already have, as a volunteer fire department, a lot of training burdens and things like that we put on our force. So I think this is a smart way to go. I know this was probably something we wouldn't have put on in the first place, but it also continues to demonstrate what a good corporate partner we have in GFL. So thank you for bringing that together.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Item 9.4, in regards to tree removal and planting of new trees in Monkland.
That the Council of the Township of North Stormont approves Report Rec 13-2025 from the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Facilities to endorse and approve a grant partnership with the Raisin River Conservation Authority to allow the planting of new trees in the Monkland Community Center Park. Moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Councillor Bajelli.
Thank you. So again, for the staff and the people sitting, or the people online, I'll get our rec director, so Pierre can give us the outline of what is in regards to the tree planting.
Through the chair, we did have an inspection of the trees in Monkland where they're identified as being a risk and dangerous, so they had to be removed immediately. We, at the same time, we had been approached by the Raisin River Conservation Authority for a partnership on the tree planting program. So because this falls within their territory, so we're looking at partnering with Raisin River. They came and identified the trees that needed to be removed, so they were qualified as dangerous. So this is the program we're working. So the 4 trees has been removed, and it's a matching fund of the expenses we're going to put towards it. It's going to be put towards the grant in this increase of value. So the program right now is we remove 4 trees, we'll replant 8 trees. If we get the funding, the amount of funding matches. So the only thing, we're still got 8 trees. Either the trees are going to be bigger. If we don't want to be bigger because we can't handle the size of the trees with our own equipment, we might, instead of putting 8, we might put 10 or 12. We already designated a map where they're going to go, so now they'll be planted far away from utility lines and everything, and far away from a septic bed and everything at the Monkland. So it'll be a nice area whenever it's all grow up for shade for the people of Monkland to go and sit in the shade or put a swing set. So that's basically what this request is.
I have a question, but I think I'll take, I think we might be the same, looking at the same ask, but go ahead, Deputy Mayor Densham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mine is just kind of do we have a sense for the overall cost of what's happening? I realize that Public Works is supplying half of the cost in in-kind effort. So thank you very much to the Public Works. I think we always appreciate how they continue to make projects happen in our community. But if you were to put a price tag on the trees that are going in, what is it likely to be, just to give a sense of the value?
If we get the matching fund, and let's say we know the tree cutting was expensive, was $1,600, it's about $1,200 to do the grinding, so we're almost at $3,000 plus Public Works. So we could be looking at $4,000, reduce our $3,000 and the match. So we could be looking around $4,000, $3,500 to $4,000 worth of trees. So 8 trees at $3,000 or $3,500. The bigger the trees are, the more expensive it is. So I recommended, and we had discussion with their staff, that we can only, if we use our own township equipment, we're not equipped to, like the real tree planting, come in with a 14-inch tree. Says if we can use our own equipment, and we say our maximum is 6 inches, well, they'll purchase 6 inches tree, and if for the same value, so we might end up with 10 or 12 trees instead of keeping the original 8, and then we can't handle it, and we have to get a third party to come and plant them. So our idea is to use our own staff to replant them and get the sod in and just finish the job, and they'll be compensated for the value of their time on the grant.
Perfect. Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Moving on to item 9.6 in regards to long-term debt financing for 2025. Am I skipping one? Yes, I am, sorry. Road allowance closure and purchase request. We'll go to the money we need before we go to the money we spend. So 9.5, so go ahead, Mr. CAO.
That the Council of the Township of North Stormont declare that the lands described as unopened road allowance for Moose Creek Railway Street, as well as a portion of the opened but unused road allowance, to be surplus to the township's needs, and that council direct staff to proceed with the closure and sale of these lands subject to the recommendation or recommended conditions. Moved by Councillor Bajelli, seconded by Councillor Shane.
Thank you. So any questions? Are we looking at on County Road 6 heading north? Is that which road allowance?
Blake, this is the Bretzler.
Moose Creek? Railway Street?
Oh, so this is for railway.
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
road.
Through the chair, Blake,
So-
could you give them a quick overview of the report, just kind of a summary?
Actually, the land was purchased, it's with him, Bretzler Farms, and he's basically selling back the structures and buildings to the original landowner. So for him to have the farmland, he had to get a severance, and part of the severance process was to allow us for future to have a turnaround on the open section and close up a road that was never there before to make everything clean. That's in who ownership and all this. So it's a little complicated, but it's pretty well straightforward in that we have the road allowance, and we'll get rid of the unused road allowance that goes into the farmer's fields.
And just for my sake, was this road there for, was it potentially put there for future development at one time? Like, I don't think it was done by a plan of subdivision or by what it appeared to be development. So what was the intent of having that railway road go that far back into the field
Before my day.
before our days?
Yeah, it was before my day, and until all this came about, I didn't know we had a unopened section that went west and north, because we just, for years, we just maintained the section, and when the water and sewer went in, there's a road allowance where we accessed on the road allowance for the 2 houses on that road, and so what we did with this severance, we request a turnaround for future use of the road if the property gets sold to individuals who don't want to maintain it. Right now, we haven't, besides if you need a patching or any kind of infrastructure work, we haven't been plowing it for many years, as the owners of the farm or farm buildings have been maintaining themselves and keeping it to a standard that was acceptable, and it's basically just the owner's use.
So the sale of this will be dealt with one original owner, and then the transaction to go back to the first original owner will be
Yeah.
done after?
Yeah.
Perfect. Any further questions? Go ahead,
No,
Councilor
just,
Bocelli.
I think this is pretty easy for me to support. I drive by this, even calling it a road is very, very generous.
Yeah.
It's a glorified driveway. That's, I got agricultural buildings and then the house on either side. It really, I don't see how this ever should have really fallen into township road allowances anyway, so it seems like that might have been there as a service road way back when, for railway service. So I don't see any need for us to be holding on to this parcel.
Good. Any further question? Go ahead, Deb.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to be sure I understand the pictures right that are in here. So there was in one that's colored orange, big long strip with a little L shape at the bottom that's kicked out that I think joins into the existing road that is the driveway. And so we're looking at getting rid of the big long orange piece, but keeping the little L piece for a turnaround. Is that correct? Are we keeping that?
We're keeping just this, and the turnaround is here, so
Oh,
that
that's not-
is being part of what's being sold so what's in red is what's being sold
Oh, okay,
on the first
okay,
page.
okay. Well, that's good.
Makes
Thank you.
sense.
Yeah.
So seeing no further questions, or all in favor, sorry. Motion is carried. Now, moving on to the long-term debt financing for 2025.
That the Council of the Township of North Stormont approves long-term debt funding through a loan from BMO Canada in the amount of $1.4 million, Township Building, and $375,000 snowplow as approved in the 2025 capital budget, and furthermore directs administration to enter into a $1.5 million facility to borrow for present and future vehicles, and furthermore directs administration to finalize all the appropriate paperwork to complete the transactions. Moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Councillor Bocelli.
Thank you. So any questions? I believe our treasurer's got her pencil sharpened up there. Any questions from council? See none, so if I can interfere, so right now, both are with BMO, so the plow and the township building are not going through the Infrastructure Ontario?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the recommendation is it goes through BMO. When we finance through Infrastructure Ontario, it takes roughly 10 weeks to get our funds, and we have to have legal assistance, so we get charged for that as well. Plus, the loans are locked in. So if you take a 20-year amortization, it's locked in for 20. You can't do otherwise. With BMO, the interest rate is slightly higher. It's amortized over 20 years, but the term is only 5, so that in that, after 5 years, you can lock it in again, like you would your mortgage. The rates might be lower, but if you have excess cash, you can put it down on that loan to get rid of it quicker. So the recommendation is to do that. I want to just clarify the $1.5 million facility. The facility as such is the loan. It's a loan of $1.5 million, which is kind of open-ended. It acts very similar to a line of credit where you're approved for 1.5. So when the snowplow comes in, we can ask them for 375, and it comes off that 1.5 with the rate of the day and amortized accordingly based on the piece of equipment. So say next year we need another snowplow, we can add to that 1.5. We don't have to get pre-approved or anything. We just simply send the invoice to the bank. They transfer the funds. It's very, very easy. But again, it doesn't take effect until we actually request the money and the money is moved. So it was suggested by the bank, and it's a very easy way to get funds quickly and efficiently, and it's still within our annual debt repayment limit. That's not an issue. So that was the suggestion to go with from the bank.
So if I can add, the part where you say it makes it easy, I don't want it to be easy. So all the directors understand that,
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this would not apply to Public Works.
so with this said, though, the 1.5 is not right now deemed for anything other than just giving us the security of having the, so I'll take questions from the floor, and then I'm sure I'm going to have the last word, so go ahead.
Yeah,
Deputy Mayor.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. And the mayor and I have had a chance to kind of chat about this briefly, so I don't want to steal your thunder, but given the fact that we've just done our asset management plan, it feels like a good time for us to be thinking about that in more detail in terms of what assets and public work equipment, et cetera, we're going to need for the future. Because I know that we're coming through right now with our compensation from GFL. We're at a time where we have some money, and I think we need to spend it wisely. So I'm sure I don't need to tell you that as our finance director. But I've always seen this time right now as an opportunity. And so my hope is that we can actually start both putting money away and reducing the amount of debt, which sounds like a golden time, but as much as possible, because like I say, right now I think we've been benefiting from some additional revenue that it does have an end time to it at some point in the future. So we need to plan carefully. And so I'm hoping, as I agree with your approach, with the fact that it's got a 5-year, gives us a chance to reassess in 5 years. I think that's a smart way to go. But so those are my general comments, I guess, around this.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I just want to bring to light, based on the asset management plan, they are suggesting putting 1.98% of tax revenues towards capital assets. So that's hopefully the plan for 2026 budget moving forward. I also think with the initiation of the 10-year capital plan, for those things that we know are coming down the road, they are being identified, especially with fleet. It's easier when you know a vehicle has, say, a 10-year life. You can plan accordingly. Not so easy when it comes to necessarily your water systems or your recreation facilities, but at least it's a start, and we're moving forward. I think we're moving forward well.
Any other questions? So basically the 1.4, so I've had lots of discussions with residents in regards to the purchase that we made. I think if anybody walks in here and sees the benefit now that we have versus what we had, so it's a step moving forward. We also have a pretty solid tenant that was part of the renovations, was not just for our section, but also the other one. When we look at the tenant income that would be generated, that's where I feel the BMO is a better fit when you look at Infrastructure Ontario, where you're locked in for 20. You could see potentially interest rates dropping depending on the economic world that we live in. So it's just stuff that I think, deal with. And as mentioned by Deputy Mayor Densham, GFL, we do have some income that's coming in that regards that we can possibly, and I think Fire Chief Gauthier has her head down, but we have been talking about the fleet and trying to, and I think the same thing goes to the snowplow, to try to be more aware of putting money aside so that when we do make the purchase, it's not a full hit on. So that's something for council to work on at our next budget. And but I think overall, I'm very pleased with the outcome of our decision to make the move to this building. So thank you very much. So seeing no further questions, all in favor of the motion. Motion is carried. Moving on to item 10 in regards to municipal bylaw. Bylaw number 52-2025 to repeal and replace bylaw number 53, 2018 and 62, 2019 for open air fires.
Be resolved that bylaw number 52, 2025 being a bylaw to repeal and replace bylaw numbers 53, 2018 and 62, 2019 for regulating the setting of open air fires and to institute precautions to be taken with open air fires, including the times during which open air fires may be set, be ready first, second, and third time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 12th day of August, 2025. Moved by Councillor Bajelli, seconded by Councillor Shane. And through the chair, this is a follow-up and the singular change to the document was from 75 meters to 50 meters as per council's direction from our July 22nd, 2025 meeting. I don't know if the fire chief wants to expand on that, but it's fairly straightforward.
Any questions? I think it's highlighted, we detailed, and I think that was the wish of council at the last meeting. So seeing no further questions, all in favor? Motion is carried. Moving on to our correspondence, 11.12, 11.7.
Be it resolved that the correspondence is listed as items 11.1 to 11.7 on the agenda be received. Moved by Councillor Shane, seconded by Councillor Bajelli.
Thank you. Any questions in regard to correspondence? One that I would like to just make a comment on, and I see just a detail that we're not the only small municipality that is struggling, but if you do look at the 11.4 in regards to the municipality of South Huron with regards to our fire certification requirements. So it is, and I fully support our fire department needing to train the guys. It's just that it is very difficult for a smaller municipality, North Stormont having 4 station, 11, I believe, vehicles in our fleet. So, and we're not looking at half tons, it's a substantial vehicle. So it just, to deal with that, and on top of that, dealing with certification and training. So it is something that potentially could maybe be, I would love to see just being brought back at the next meeting for a motion, just for further discussion, and maybe hearing comments coming from our fire chief. So, with that said, all in favor of the correspondence? Thank you. So motion is carried. 11, 12. Moving on to motions and bylaws. So item 12.1, whereas the Township of North Stormont has the following interest.
Whereas the Township of North Stormont has the following interests: support the Township's asset management plan, support tree maintenance and preservation policies, support climate risk mitigation, support natural environment preservation. Whereas the Township of North Stormont is undertaking a partnership with the Raisin River Conservation Authority under the Growing Canada's Communities Canopy Grant. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of North Stormont acknowledges that Raisin River Conservation Authority is applying for a funding opportunity from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Growing Canada's Community Canopies Initiative for Monkland Recreation Tree Replacement in partnership with the Township of North Stormont. The Council of the Township of North Stormont also recognizes that the lifetime contribution from the Growing Canada's Community Canopies Initiative will not exceed $10 million for the tree planting within our municipality, inclusive of a maximum contribution of $1 million for the infrastructure activity costs, and that if approved, this project will be counted towards that limit. Moved by Councillor Bajelli, seconded by Councillor Shane.
So I believe, Councillor McDonald, you removed yourself from that one, so I'll take questions from the rest of council. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Densham.
No, I just think it's a good initiative, as our rec director pointed out. And I think it's also brings up an interesting point that we may want to continue to consider is both CAs, Raisin River and South Nation, have an opportunity to contribute to our asset management plan when it comes to some of the assets that we tend not to always think about that are in our watershed. So if we haven't already done so, I would encourage us to reach out to those conservation authorities to take a look at our assets through a conservation authority lens, and it may open us up to additional funding opportunities like this if we do so. Again, we're in the midst of doing our asset management plan, and this just may be another opportunity. But kudos to our rec director, and kudos to Raisin River for partnering together on this.
Thank you. So with, or any further question on that side? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. So there is no unfinished business. The scheduling of our upcoming meetings, which I don't believe we have. So do we know what our September
September
meetings
9th.
are? September 9th will be our next council meeting. Council will also, or myself and Deputy Mayor Densham will be attending, I believe, as well as part of Councillor Majelli and Councillor McDonald, the AMO conference that will be held next, at the beginning of next week. And coming events, this is sort of what I like to see. So if you look at Chrysler, it goes for council, but also members of the public. If you look at whether it's cornhole toss, game night, you've got the old school barbecue. Tickets are on sale. That's again in Chrysler. Wine tour, the community dinner on September 19th. They're putting on a tailgate party and a football game into the Ottawa Red Blacks, as well as the Chrysler Run Fun Run on September 27th. Also in Moose Creek coming on, in Monkland first, coming on August 23rd, will be their Corn Fest that is being held, so everyone there is welcome. And last is September 6th, you've got Taste Fest being held at the Moose Creek Community Center. So again, if there's members of council that are around for those weekends, you can visit, and to the members of the public as well. So with that said, moving into closing remarks. So any closing remarks from members of council? Seeing none. And I guess we'll be moving into our closed session.
Be it resolved that this meeting adjourned to a closed session for the following reasons. As per section 239, a meeting or part of a meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered is personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and labor relations or employee negotiations. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by or Deputy Mayor Densham.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried. So